3 days before the Last Supper, Jesus pulled Peter aside in the darkness outside Gethsemane. His face was grave. Not afraid, but urgent. He said something Peter would never forget. When you try to enter the portal, forces will resist you. Not human forces. The archons. They guard the threshold. They've been blocking humanity's access to the monad since the beginning. Most people never get through because they don't know the archons are there. Peter asked, "How do we break through?" Jesus looked at him intensely. "I'm going to show you. But you must remember this teaching. After I'm gone, they'll try to erase it. The archons work through those who claim to represent me. They'll build systems that look like pathways to God but are actually barriers." That warning was buried for 2,000 years. But Jesus was right. The archons are real. They block the monad portal. And most people trying to access higher consciousness never make it through because they don't know what's stopping them. Until now. The archons aren't demons in the religious sense. They're not entities with pitchforks and horns. Jesus and the Gnostics described them as something more specific and more dangerous: consciousness parasites. Thought-form entities that exist in the lower dimensions between human awareness and source consciousness. Think of reality as having layers. At the highest layer is the monad, pure, unified, infinite consciousness. At the lowest layer is dense matter. Humans exist somewhere in the middle. And between where we are and where the monad is, there are dimensional layers the archons inhabit. The archons don't have physical bodies. They're made of thought frequency. They exist as patterns of consciousness that feed on human emotional and mental energy. Fear, doubt, confusion, separation. These are their food source. And they've become very good at generating these states in humans. Jesus warned about them throughout his teachings, though the language was coded. When he talked about principalities and powers, about the ruler of this world, about forces that keep people blind, he was describing the archons. Not Satan as a single entity, but a collective of consciousness parasites that have infiltrated human perception. Here's what makes them particularly effective: they don't attack you directly. They work through your own mind. They amplify your doubts. They strengthen your fears. They make separation feel real and unity feel impossible. And most critically, they position themselves right at the threshold of the monad portal. Why there? Because the portal is the one thing they can't survive. The monad's frequency, pure unified consciousness, dissolves them instantly. They're made of separation. The monad is unity. So they guard the portal desperately, turning back anyone who tries to approach. The archons use specific tactics to keep you from reaching the monad portal. Jesus identified 3 primary methods they employ. Understanding these is the first step to breaking through. Block 1, the thought loop. When you start moving toward higher consciousness, when you begin feeling the pull toward the monad, the archons generate thought loops. Obsessive thinking. Mental spirals. You'll suddenly find yourself caught in repetitive thoughts about problems, fears, past regrets, future anxieties. This isn't random. It's targeted interference. The thought loop serves 2 purposes. First, it keeps your consciousness locked in mental space instead of expanding into awareness beyond thought. Second, it generates the low-frequency emotion they feed on. Anxiety. frustration, confusion. As long as you're trapped in a thought loop, you can't approach the portal. Block 2, the doubt injection. Right when you're on the verge of breakthrough, right when you feel yourself expanding toward the monad, a sudden wave of doubt hits. This isn't real. You're making this up. You're delusional. Nothing is happening. That doubt isn't yours. It's injected. The Archons specialize in this. They've studied human consciousness for millennia. They know exactly when you're close to the portal. And they know that if they can make you doubt the experience you're having, you'll pull back.